I was about to drop like some House of Pain lyrics. It's the cream of the crop.
That would have been great. Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy.
This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob.
Welcome to the Whiskey Rant Podcast.
It's a little crusty.
It's frustrating.
And it's going to be a little bit of a rant.
I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Some sort of injustice.
Anyway, end rant.
Hello and welcome back to the Whiskey Rant Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Rob.
And today we are taking a look at all of WhiskyTube's Whiskeys of the Year and seeing what we think about their selections.
Yeah,
tonight.
Our buddies, our friends.
Yeah, our fellow colleagues, our peers.
Our amigos.
We have in front of us their selections, what they picked this year. And we're going to go through, we're not going to drink every single one.
No.
Although that would make a great video.
Wouldn't it?
We've had all of these, and the one or two that we haven't tried yet, we're trying right now.
The Aaron 10.
Yeah, so you haven't tried that one yet.
You haven't tried the Lagavulin.
The Glen Scotia 18 I got poured, and the Lagavulin, new Lagavulin 12 I got poured right now.
Yeah, so some famous YouTubers have requested that their fans, their subscribers, their watchers buy this stuff.
Right.
So we did.
And let's see how it is. Let's start right with the big award this year, and that was the Online Scotch Whisky Awards, put on by Ralphie and our boy Roy from Aquavite. Why couldn't I think of Aquavite?
You're having man. This must be like a post-COVID.
This is what happened today. Okay, I freaking got up at 5 a.m. for work. I worked all day. I freaking got home. I ate Indian food.
Yeah,
that doesn't wake you up.
No, slows you right down.
And now I'm drinking scotch.
They're happy people, man. They're happy people, and they have fantastic food. But sometimes it just doesn't put the extra It doesn't put you into fifth gear.
No, it puts you back into first. Negative. Yeah,
neutral,
reverse gear.
Maybe reverse. Right. This one right here, wasn't it? The Glenallachie 12.
That's the Super Social Club.
That's the Super Social Club,
Whiskey
but was it not also? No, you're right. It was not also. What was the? Was it the Aaron 10?
That's what I said.
Yeah, he said that.
We should both start again.
So Ralphie also picked the Aaron 10, though, didn't he?
Yeah. So the Online Scotch Whisky Awards. Whiskey of the Year was the Aaron 10.
Yeah.
And Ralphie picked, well, going forward, the Lecheg, or Ledeg, or however you want to say it.
However you want to say it. I say Lejeg.
I say Lejeg.
I say Lejeg because I think it sounds cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right way to say it, though.
But let's start with the Online Scotch Whisky Awards, the Aaron 10. A bottle, a whiskey that I had tried previously, and it was kind of forgotten about,
right?
More or less. We were really big on the Aaron 18. We had both got multiple bottles of that. Big fans of that. Really heavy sherry. Mm-hmm. This Aaron 10. This is more of an ex-bourbon sherry mix. It's very complex. It's very well rounded. I thought. Yeah. Very easy to drink. Very delicious.
Yeah.
When I got the bottle of it and I really got into the whiskey, I was like, this is actually really, really good.
Yeah. You know what? Take a second and look at this array of bottles for it. I feel like they're listening. I feel like the distilleries are finally listening. I feel like it's...
Well, the good ones are.
Well, the good ones are, right? But even the ones that we've been trashing for a while, they're starting to listen. You know what I mean? Potentially one of the best years coming out of Laphroaig was this year.
Yeah.
I know... Say what you want about their 10-year-old sherry cask or their Carchis PX, but I feel like they're doing some good things and they're throwing age statements on things that's not typical for them. Mm-hmm. You know, I personally think they've come out of a funk. Then you got guys like Aaron who've completely changed their whole brand, new bottle, new, design. Really cool what they're doing. Highland Park seems to be listening a little bit.
Yeah.
With the cast strength.
Sure.
Right? And then you have brands like Glenallachie that, recently revamped within the last 5 years, 6 years, and they're killing it.
Yeah.
I always am super critical of the local barley series from Springbank, although I love Springbank, but arguably one of the best in a decade, right? Since the 16-year-old.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that what we have in front of us right now is an amazing selection of whiskeys, and they all have a common theme to them. I believe they're all at least 46% ABV and all non-chill filtered.
Yeah.
I don't, is it Lefroy in the Lagavulin? I don't know about
48.
those ones.
This could be chill filtered, but I don't think the Lagavulin is chill filtered. It's cast strength.
Right.
So I mean, at 48%,
Right.
I don't really notice it if it's chill filtered or not.
First impressions of the Aaron 10. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like the maltiness to it. It's got like a nice like apple kind of malty note.
Yeah, I get like a little bit of
tangerine.
honey on that too. There's a nice sweetness to it. It's really well balanced, I believe, between the two casks. I was really surprised, and it's a very nice, easy drinking Scotch, and I think well deserved of the award because it is something that is truly readily available for the most part, well priced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, I like it because it's affordable. Everybody can try it. Would it have been my whiskey of the year or even made my top 6? Probably not.
Right.
But that's my own preference. Although that being said, it's because I lean more towards like a sherry dominant cask. Although that is changing a little bit. This was on my list.
Yeah.
Right. This was on my top 6, and it's very affordable.
Yeah, the Glenallachie.
Yeah, the Glenallachie 12. So I forget that there's some people that are just listening to this sometimes.
Right, they can't always see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they can't see through the car stereo. I apologize, guys. All these are really good, man. The only one that I would say I'm not a big fan of is the Highland Park cast strength.
So we'll get to that. Let's move on to Ralphie's 2022 whiskey for this year. Lecheg 10-year-old. This is one we're very familiar with. We won't spend too much time on it. We've both reviewed it before. We've talked about it on this podcast before.
Yeah, we pump the tires of this quite often.
Yeah, it's one that made a list of mine recently where I did top 5 smoky whiskeys for the fall.
Right.
It's kind of like a more underrated one.
Yeah.
It's well priced and it's really delicious. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I think it's like in my top 5 of the top 10-year-old whiskeys
There you go.
that I did on my channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've liked that for a long time, and it's always a great buy. Like even at the LCBO, it's like $67, or it used to be anyway. I don't know if that's
I
changed.
think they bumped it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty decent when it's in stock.
Right.
Of course. Let's move on to our boys at Malt Reviews. They obviously review very rare, expensive auction bottles. But for their whiskey of the year, they pick like what they think is the best value, and they picked the Lagavulin 12-year-old, the 2021 release. This one's coming in at 56.5% ABV.
Yeah. I mean, this one was not kept secret by anybody for like this year.
Yeah.
Surge gave it from Whiskey Fun gave it a 91.
Wow. Huge.
I believe there's a bunch of reviewers out there giving it like high praise. So when Mike and Narby give something their whiskey of the year, you know it's good and you got to check it out. And the fact that that's readily available it's just fantastic stuff. Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, the best Lagavulin 12 I've ever tasted.
Yeah. This is my first time with it tonight. The 2017 was always a great release and my favorite. This is absolutely glorious.
Yeah. The 2016, 2017 were excellent.
Yeah.
After that, it seemed like it kind of dropped a bit, although I will say I didn't pay $50 extra for the eagle on the bottle and the can, whereas I decided to pay the extra $75 for the lion on the bottle and can.
Sure.
Because of the reviews that I was getting.
Yeah.
Right? So I bought that just before Mike and Narby called it their whiskey of the year, and I was like, I totally agree.
Yeah, it's definitely like the 12's always been, the shining light in the Lagavulin lineup of the more affordable ones that you can get. It's just always been there. I mean, it's been so good. I mean, when you get the Lagavulin at cast strength at 12 years,
Yeah.
they rarely miss with those releases.
It's crazy though, because like the 16 is their stand. I wish they would just bump that up to bump 3%. Just bump it 3%.
Or just release a 16 cast strength. Just the same whiskey,
That'd be crazy.
cask strength.
That'd be cool.
It'd be amazing, right?
That'd be cool.
It'd be so good.
Their 8-year-old is really good too.
8-year-old's really good.
I love Lagavulin. I love Lagavulin. I wish their older stuff was like more affordable.
Yeah.
But
I think the Lagavulin 12, it's for someone who likes peat. I don't know if this is not like a beginner's peated whiskey by any means at all.
No.
It's very bold and very strong. It's a lot of that like minerality, peaty note to it.
you can't go like if you're a new Scotch drinker and you know like you drink the Lagavulin 16, you're like, yeah, I like Isla. I like Lagavulin 16. And then you go to the Lagavulin 12, you're in for a rude awakening.
It's a step up.
Yeah.
You're going from the minors to the majors with
Yeah.
peat influence, I think.
Exactly.
Because that Lagavulin 16 is very well rounded, and it's rounded out almost the peat. It's very,
It's
very
great.
campfire smoke, mild.
That Lagavulin 16 is the Highland Macallan 18 of Isla, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
It's not expensive.
Yeah.
But it's that one where you can pour and play. You're not going to disappoint anybody. And nobody's going to say, like, this is garbage, take it away from me. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to like it. Doesn't matter who you're serving it to.
Yeah.
Right? It's just nice to have on the bar. People know it. It's a recognizable bottle, recognizable brand.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I mean by it. Like, it's the Macallan of Isla.
Yeah. So thumbs up for malt reviews for this one. We agree.
Oh, yeah. The 12 is
great pick.
unreal.
Great
100%.
Let's move on to what do you want to do? Train C.
Yeah, let's do Trinity and C.
All right, our boys out West Coast. So Trenny picked the Highland Park Cask Strength, and I believe he picked Batch 1 for his Whiskey of the Year. We have both reviewed this.
Yep.
Our boy Cam actually let us open his.
That's right.
Right? He had it first
That's right.
before it was at the LCBO.
Before it was there, yeah, and he let us
track it and
open
try
it.
it.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
I thought it was great. I remember a lot of people saying like, "Oh, it drinks a tad hot." I didn't think so when I did the review.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's a bit hot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people say that.
And I'm not, you know me. I'm like Narby's joke is that I gotta add gasoline to my whiskey in order for it to be strong.
I gotta
enough.
bring this ABV up.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, it does drink a bit hot. I don't know why, but I think it may speak to the age a little bit.
Right.
Which I'm fine with, even if it's 3 years old. I don't care.
Yeah.
But, it's good. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought I liked it. I think that I really commended Highland Park for finally releasing something cask strength. It's been a long time coming.
That's what I mean by like a step in the right direction. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. C picked the Balvenie Peat Week 14, another bottle that both of us had reviewed.
Yeah, I love that bottle.
You know what? I was very pleasantly surprised with that bottle because I had previous peat weeks, like right when they first came out, and I was like, nah, save the peat for Isla guys because you're not doing a great job of it. But subsequent releases, especially the most recent one, I thought was really good.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of this actually. It reminded me a lot of like that Port Charlotte, that Octomore style peat, but not necessarily as intense as those. But yeah, I really like it.
Yeah,
I think it's expensive for what it is. Like it's
in this market, it's you can't buy it here.
Yeah,
it's
so,
like $275 or something.
Yeah, but I think a few stores now have it on sale for like $200 in Canada. But like that's still high for a 14-year-old whiskey. Yeah. And like okay, you're giving it to us at 47%. Sorry, 47 or 48, something like that. But it's high. That's high. That's $200. It shouldn't be that much.
Yeah, too much.
Right, and I love Balvenie. I think they price themselves out of.
I mean, it's weird for this market, right? It doesn't make sense in Ontario how Balvenie's priced. If you look in the U.S., it's reasonable and it's fine. Well, since we're talking about Port Charlotte, let's go on to Port Charlotte because that's our friend Whiskey Dick. He picked this as his whiskey of the year. Yep. Again, this is one that came up on my top 5 peated scotches to drink in the fall.
Right.
Really good. Love Port Charlotte stuff. This is just a staple in their lineup. 50% ABV, really nice and balanced. Really good. That like mineral iodine combo. That's really nice.
Yeah. Actually surprised that Whiskey Dick picked this one because I didn't think he was a big Isla guy, but I like everything Port Charlotte. To be honest with you, I like everything Port Charlotte. I think if you're going to buy, if you want that Octomore experience, but you don't want to like dish out $300 now, that's a nice like runner up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So for 1/3 the price, you can get the 10-year-old Port Charlotte.
Yeah,
heavily peated.
Yeah, if you don't want to, go up to the Octomore level pricing, which has gotten crazy.
It's absurd. It's $300 here.
Then you can get a little taste of kind of that style in those whiskeys.
Yeah.
Liquor Hound.
Liquor Hound.
So he does a huge selection.
Can we just pause for a second?
Chris is the man.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's the OG. I was watching that guy's videos back when I was watching Ralphie videos. One of the OGs.
Yeah.
Like just, way before I started my channel.
Yeah. I remember when he first got his setup behind him and he just takes his remote and just clicks all 3 sets of lights on and just essentially drops the mic and you're just like, this guy's collection is insane.
It's absurd.
Now lots of people have that style of collection, but he was really the first to like display that many bottles at once.
But the best part of his collection is that every single one of those bottles is open.
All cracked, all ready to go. Yeah.
That's like he's one of the inspirations, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how many bottles on deck, but I don't know if
he's got them like 8 deep on those shelves, man. You just look back and he's getting better and better and better.
There's no way I could ever compete. You know who has a lot of bottles open too is Scotty from the Scotch Test Dummies.
That's true. His little studio there is full.
He's got a ton of bottles
full.
Open. You have a lot when you need those metal racks,
right?
Because it's like
you need make sure you drill in the stud or that's just coming down.
Yeah, exactly.
So Liquor Hound, he does like everything, right? It's just spirits of the year, and he kind of breaks in Scotch.
Yeah.
I guess we should kind of say that we are kind of focusing on Scotch tonight.
That's right. Yeah.
Because these are the bottles we have. If we were doing bourbon, we wouldn't be able to have half of what people picked this year for bourbon.
Plus, I mean, as far as like bourbon too, but I don't know too much about what's going on there. Like I know Mash and Drum, and I do have a Seagrass that he picked.
Sure, but there's so many bourbon channels that pick stuff this year that like we would never see.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just not our style. We don't really buy. I mean, you buy more bourbon than I do, but I don't really buy too much bourbon.
Anyway, sticking with Scotch. So Liquor Hound kind of broke it down. I think he did like a peated. I don't know what does he do. Highlands? He does like a regular and then a Campbelltown. I don't know what he did.
I think he did one of each. Yeah.
Anyway, so he's picked Springbank 12 cask strength,
which I'm sipping right now.
So you're sipping. This is the 100% ex bourbon cask. I think he picked the first release, which is the 50-50 split.
50-50, yeah.
Yeah, which we have somewhere. Anyway.
Yeah, we do have it. Yeah.
He picked the Lefroy 10 sherry cask, which we've both reviewed before.
Yep.
And then he also picked the Cragganmore 20-year-old cask strength, which we have reviewed on this channel before.
Yeah, because
we smoked it with cigars and it was absolutely phenomenal.
It's a great whiskey. He 3 great choices in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously Springbank is always an easy choice.
So you guys know about our Springbank love. We won't talk about that. You know we love it. The Lefroy 10 sherry. This one was kind of a shocker to me that he would pick this one. I thought it was a really good whiskey. I liked the sherry influence. I don't know if this is scoring high enough to get on a list for me.
I think 2 things need to happen for Lefroy to score higher on a list for me. They need to say that this is natural color and unchill filtered. And I can do without it being unchill filtered. It's 48%, we should say that. 48%. I could do without this being unchill filtered, or chill filtered, sorry. But if that's added color, the amount of color that's in this is absurd.
Yeah.
So if there's added color to that's super disappointing.
I mean, even just take like the fact that if it's colored and chill filtered away, I just don't know if this whiskey really had that like kind of like wow factor, like that next level where you're like, it's on your palate and you're like, okay, this is something really special to me. Yeah,
I think you have to really like. Lefroy for me is the most distinct whiskey in the entire industry.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And you have to like it. You have to like that flavor. You have to like what it brings to the table. Or else you're never going to fully love any of their expressions.
Right.
Because it exists in that cartridge that's heavily sherried, but you still get it. It exists in this. It exists in their standard 10-year-old cask strength, their standard 10-year-old. So if you don't like that Lefroyism or Lefroy essence, ism's definitely not the right word.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Cragganmore we love. We talked about it. I just think that this was an interesting pick for me for that.
Honestly, I really like that. I like that a lot more than you did, though. But I think I like Lefroy more than you do in general.
Sure. Fair.
So.
All right, let's move on to who do we got left?
We got
Our boy Whiskey Whistle.
Whiskey Whistle.
Now,
So-
this one, when I watched his Whiskey of the Year, I was really impressed that he picked this bottle.
Okay.
I was like, wow, man, that's a great selection. It's like outside the box. No one else is picking this.
That's right.
Right?
Honestly, so something happened this year with the Glen Scotia 18 because, mind you, this is the first year I bought it, but I didn't even know that he picked it before I bought it. And technically, it was a throw-in in a bundle that I had to buy. So it was like I had to get this to get the Springbank 18. And it was the bonus because it was even better than I expected because it's actually, in my opinion, better than the Springbank 18.
There you go.
So Mark nailed it.
Absolutely, he did. And I mean, I'm trying this right now for the very first time, and I'm falling in love with it.
It's
absolutely delicious. It reminds me of a Springbank a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got similar characteristics. The viscosity is through the roof.
Yep.
It's very, very viscous on the palate. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And it's just Campbelltown goodness, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, for a while this was getting poor reviews for the last 3 or 4
Previous years.
Yeah. So whatever they did this year, keep doing it, Glen Scotia, because you killed it. I messaged you guys the other night, right? And I'm like, whatever they did to this Glen Scotia, I hope they keep doing it because it's fantastic. Honestly, it's fantastic. I really love it.
Yeah.
Really
so
love it.
definitely. Great pick by Mark.
Yeah.
Absolutely great pick.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a great lineup of stuff. You know, obviously ours, the Glen Alecky 12 I picked, and you picked the Springbank Local Barley 10
Yeah.
from this year. But I mean, if you're leaving this table tonight and you're taking one bottle with you, what are you grabbing?
That's a tough question. So I'm drinking your Springbank 100% bourbon cask, and I really like it. It's, I think, a little bit more peated than usual.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of a bourbon cask long grow. But that being said,
The Springbank distillate really shines out of this.
it
I
does.
think,
It's
for
really
sure.
nice.
And you kind of have to like that,
Yeah.
I think, to love this whiskey.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people do.
I mean, if I'm taking one bottle home, it's still my. Obviously, we shouldn't pick our own stuff.
Sure.
Right? So I'm not going to pick my own. I won't even pick yours because this was part of my list too, and it was pretty high up. I think I'm picking this Glen Scotia, Glen Scotia 18. It's honestly, it's delicious. I love everything on this table except for one or two things I'm not a huge fan of, but I still really enjoy them.
Yeah.
But this Glen Scotia, I've been drawn back to it almost every time yesterday I had a dry night. I think I got it 3 or 4 nights ago, and I've been drawn back to it a couple times since. So that tells me that it's good.
Yeah, I think I'm right with you. I would take the Glen Scotia 18 or the Cragganmore 20. I think those two
Cragganmore 20 is a great pick.
Would be my selections. This Cragganmore 20, we've talked about it lots. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And that's not to knock this Lagavulin 12.
I know.
The Lagavulin 12 is fantastic
And then
too.
there you are then with the Lagavulin
Right?
12. I mean, yeah. So you're not going to make a bad selection here. But yeah, that Glen Scotia, man. It's
special. And it's holding up against stuff that's cask strength too. So that's the other thing we got to measure this with. A 46% whiskey for Springbank doesn't usually hold up for me.
Yeah.
And I noticed that with the 18-year-old. Hopefully it gets better with time. But I purchased another 18-year-old not that long ago, maybe 2017, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Then Jasper let us try, what was it, the 2019 or 2020?
2019.
The 2019 Springbank 18 was fantastic. Of course,
everything 2019 from Springbank core range was great.
Fantastic.
Right? It was so good.
Yeah.
So good. And especially the 10-year-old.
Yeah, the 10-year-old was stupid. All of them. That year, that 21-year-old was...
The 21-year-old was absolutely insane.
Absurd.
The 25-year-old was magical.
Yeah, they're all...
That was a great year for Springbank.
But this year's Springbank 18, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit like of a note that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah.
So then when I poured this next to it, I was like, wow, like Glen Scotia might like murder Springbank this year in the 18-year-old category.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Glen Scotia 18.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think our peers did like an amazing job of their whiskeys of the year.
So we know that there's Whiskey Tube and there's like subcategory Bourbon Tube, but I would say that the channels that picked these whiskeys, for the most part, gravitate towards Scotch.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, maybe not Trinity and C are like, they love their Canadian whiskey, they love their bourbon, but I think if you were like to probe them, they'd probably say Scotch too.
I think so. And I think Liquor Hound, even though he does all spirits, a wide array of everything, really.
Yeah.
But I think he's still his heart. If you look at his bar, it's mostly Scotch.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's the number one indication in my opinion, right? So we should hashtag Scotch Tube, right? Like this is Scotch Tube, and
right.
I really want to know. I'm very curious to know what the Scotch for Dummies are gonna pick, what the Scotch Test Dummies are gonna pick.
Yeah, there's a video still not released as of recording.
If Aquavite releases one this year, I'm not sure. I don't know if he like decided against it. I know he has in years past. I think he's a little bit hesitant because of what happened with like certain ones that he's picked in the past where people like go out, stock up on it. I don't think he wants that to happen. So he doesn't want to be a part of that, which I totally get. I might be putting words in his mouth. I don't know. I think that's kind of his reasoning behind it, but I could be wrong. Either way, I respect it. But yeah, I'm curious to know what the other two Scotch channels have to say, at least.
Yep. Yeah, and maybe we'll mention that in a subsequent podcast.
Yeah.
Whiskey Rant coins.
Coming, right?
We are like...
Can we share?
We are workshopping some ideas. I came up with some...
some racially questionable...
Okay, no, it wasn't racially questionable, okay? This is what happened. I'm trying to design a coin with our faces as cartoons, and Rob's came out a little darker than he is, and he thought he was a different ethnicity than
Which
he
is fine. I'm totally cool.
We're gonna
with
fix
it.
that. Don't you worry.
It could go out as is, and I'd be totally fine with it. I have no problem being represented by any, of course, but. It was just funny. It was funny to see.
It was hilarious. When I was working on it, I was like, "This is hilarious."
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, we are working on it. We've talked about it for a year.
Too long.
But we are actually designing.
And by we,
I
should say it's this guy.
I will do it. Rob will look at it. He'll laugh, and then I'll change it, and then we'll decide.
You need to get quick little tire pump here. But this guy needs way more credit than he gets on a regular basis, because if it wasn't for him, he makes the trek from downtown to my place on a regular basis. He takes the footage, goes home, edits it himself, puts it up on both of our channels. Round of applause, please.
Hey, it's a work of passion, and I'm happy to do it.
And I pay him nicely with Scotch sometimes.
That's true. I mean, every time I come here, I'm very well drank, and you can't get that anywhere else. So, very appreciative.
Dare I say the best bar in Vaughan?
Best bar in Vaughan, yeah, absolutely, because it's the only one that's open for me anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. We much appreciate it. Let us know about whiskeys of the year and what you guys have seen on different people's channels, and which one would you pick?
Yeah.
If you had to take a bottle home, or maybe one that you haven't tried yet that you would most want to try, let us know in the comments down below.
If you were lucky enough to try every single one of these, I want to know which one was your favorite, and if you weren't, which one do you want?
Yeah.
Not thinking about any secondary pricing, just the taste of the whiskey you want to try.
If you were here, we could pour you anything of this. What one do you want to try most? Let us know.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.